how do you see the Monday night matchup between Washington and Michigan playing out?
I think the biggest challenge is as good as the interior defensive line of Texas was, and people raved about them. They had no sacks. Now Michael Penix did a really good job of aiding some pressure when he did. They couldn't get to him.
He's amazing.
He is amazing. And I saw you play the video, the audio with Charles and earlier about his pro draft process. He's going to be a really fascinating subject for the NFL, not just because of the injury history from a lot of levels on this. They have 3 elite receivers. Now, their running back, Dylan Johnson, got hurt at the end of the game. We'll see what kind of...
why wouldn't they kneel in the football, man? They handed it off.
Conversation for another day.
Okay.
But I just think question's going to be, can Michigan get to them? Because they got to Milroe. Now, Alabama was more... Their offensive line is not as buttoned up as what Washington is. That's a really underrated group. They don't get, they won the Joe Moore Award, but they don't get enough credit nationally because people talk about Penix, which they should. People talk about the 3-star receivers, which they should. But the offensive line is really good. I think this is such a fun battle because both teams, these are the 2 most mentally tough teams in college football. Not coincidentally that they're playing for the title.
Love it.
Because Kalen DeBoer is super cool. And he's authentic, and he has great poise and presence, and the players respond to it. They've been through a lot. They win every close game. Michigan's team has all this adversity, and they're just like, you can't knock them off. They wobble and they keep going. And so, I picked Michigan to win the national title. I'm not going to back off at that at this point. I will be interested to see how they slow down Michael Penix Jr. because, in a lot of ways, they have a good secondary. Michigan does. One of the coaches I talked to, about this yesterday said they're elite at all 3 levels. That Texas wasn't. Texas was elite up front, but they on the back end they were exposed. Now, one other thing that this person pointed out was you can run on Washington. Texas averaged 6 yards a carry, but they had 2 fumbles. And that cost them, or else they probably win the game. So, I think Michigan's offense will have a pretty big day. What I just wonder is,
how do you slow down?
How do you slow down?
He's so good, man. He's so good. And, obviously there's a history. He beat them at Alabama. And
that was a long time ago. And he has much better receivers now. This is a way different Michigan team.
I know that. It's a different Michigan team. I get it. But, it's not like he's never seen the winged helmets on the other side of the line of scrimmage before, which has to count, too.
No, he's playing with an insane amount of confidence.
Big time.
And, he's just – I did a story on him the other day, and he was very candid with me about, how low he was coming out, at Indiana because he'd been injured 4 times. And, some of the things he had talked to me about, it was at one point he said he scared and – of getting hurt again. And, the thought of quitting in his head popped in his head, and he wouldn't give up because he's got 2 younger brothers and wanted, the game means too much to him, but he was really rattled. And I think what is going to be fascinating with him going forward is the NFL gets all twisted up in knots with how they're doing the evaluation process. His film is remarkable. And this guy has also faced real adversity and come flying through it. A lot of times college quarterbacks, they haven't faced real adversity. And then when they hits them, they wilt in the NFL. This guy's actually faced it and come out of it even stronger. I think he's, again, wouldn't say this to you, but I think he's a guy that when people read and learn about him,
of course
you would definitely root for Michael Penix Jr.
There's no doubt about it. Obviously for 3.5 or 4 hours, depending on how many TV timeouts. And so one last quick question: what does he do with his head in that? In when he doesn't look at field goals, or he sticks his head in that? What is that? Is that where you put the equipment?
Yeah,
right. It's like equipment sort of shed. Do you know what he does?
I will ask him on Saturday.
Is he honestly? I'm when he sticks his head in there.
What is going through his?
Yeah. What is he? Is he praying? Is he talking?
I would imagine
to himself?
He would be praying.
That's what I'm thinking.
Positive thought.
It's just. I
wasn't sure if there was a phone in there.
Is he honestly? Is he speaking to his coordinator or something?
Is there air
at that moment? I don't know. He's a really, really deep guy.
Yeah.
Just when I went up to Seattle this offseason and spent time with him, it was a conversation that kind of blew my mind because I just didn't expect him to, like, he's really connected emotionally, and he is a deep guy, and he has a great bond with Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator. They have a special thing there because remember, like, as bad as Michigan was, you know, when they had a two win season in the pandemic, you know, this team was 4-8 before Kalen DeBoer showed up and Michael Penix Jr. showed up. It's like, it's such a cool story. You know, I can't wait to get to Houston this weekend.
It's going to be a lot of fun, no doubt about it. And obviously, this is going to be a Big Ten matchup from now on, which is kind of crazy. And, you know, thanks for coming on. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.